casing the situation is what you mean.
If it's a homeless man versus another homeless man, one homeless man has a gun, and it's a homeless man.
Start taking bets.
Me personally. Dang it, dude. We're trying to have a serious conversation.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Crossroads Conversations podcast.
My name is Michael.
And my name is Austin.
And my name is Jack. Welcome back, you guys. Back for episode 3. Thank you guys so much for your support in the last couple episodes. It's been really nice. Have a lot of people come up to me and tell me about how they were like watching the podcast in the car with their friends, or like showing their dads. Your dad was commenting on some of the podcast episodes. Had lots of people who are sharing it around.
Not gonna lie, I was actually listening to it myself when I was detailing my truck.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna see how much I sound like Joe Biden,
I'm be honest,
That's fair.
I haven't listened to it all the way through because I had to.
Dude, some of my sentences are not coherent.
I had to edit through so many different parts of it that at some point I just got so sick and tired of listening to it. I was just like, I can't do this anymore. So I just stopped editing. I was like, good enough. So if there's any weird parts in the edit, it's my fault. You can blame me.
It's all your fault.
It's all my fault.
I think it's definitely better than the first episode.
Oh yeah, I think the second was definitely
Of course.
a big upgrade.
It was our first one though, so who cares,
Yeah, we're getting better at it.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you guys again for your support. If you have questions or suggestions for the podcast,
Please leave them down in the comments.
Leave in the
We really
comments.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
like and subscribe too, and share with a friend.
Share it. We're trying to get to 100
Share
subs.
with friend.
If you love Jesus, comment. I'm
No.
kidding.
No,
Don't
we're
I'm
not.
kidding.
We're not doing that.
Anyways,
Share or you hate
share or you hate Jesus. Like if you scroll if you love the devil. Yeah, that's what it
It's
is.
so
I hate
stupid.
those.
It's like, dude, I'm not trying to.
I keep coming across a lot more of them now. I think
Yeah.
I've manifested
I
it.
just see them a lot. I don't see them much anymore.
We talked about it last episode, and then I started seeing
But-
them a lot more.
Excuse me.
And
Phone listening.
yeah, I think they were listening to me. They're like, "Oh, he wants that content."
Ringing. No, your phone ringing. Your phone ringing. Sorry.
You order Chinese food? Have you seen that video?
Yes.
Oh, that's a lot of food, you fat.
Anyways, welcome back, guys. Thank you for coming back for a third time. The first 2 times is kind of a fluke. You guys came back for the third time. 3 is a big number.
3 times the charm.
I can count to 3.
There's 3 of us.
Well, you should be able to.
Prove it right now.
1, 2, 3.
That was
You count your
exceptional.
one. Hold
Love
on.
that.
I know we haven't even gotten to questions, but first question: do you count your 1, 2, 3s like 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3?
Depends on the
Do you know
day.
ASL or not? This is 3 in ASL. This is 3 in being dumb.
Wow.
It's true though.
Shooting shots over here.
I'm just saying. This is 3 in ASL. So I always do it like this. I go 1, 2, 3. But
I go like this.
Okay.
you can't see me.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well.
Our episodes before have been about heavy topics for sure.
And this one's gonna be the same thing.
Yeah.
And this one, I think it's the deepest of all the stuff we've gone through so far. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's definitely the most like rule. Like, what are the rules to this? If
Yeah.
That makes sense.
This is not as the things we're gonna talk about is not as clearly defined as far as just like. No one has the same opinion on it, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
people can have very similar opinions, but even down to like the minute details, it can be.
We're gonna put my Bible.
Give me a second.
Bible.
There you have it, chat. There's a lot in the Bible that seems to both support and or refute this, depending on how you read it, depending on how you read the context. So
Yeah.
there's a lot to discuss here. But before we just jump into the deep, I mean, you guys can see the title. Like, it's kind of obvious what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
But before we jump into it, we're going to...
It's only not because of the shirts we're wearing. Also, you
Oh.
need to show your shirt.
I got my jiu-jitsu shirt on.
And I got a rooster holding an AR-15.
And I don't got anything that relates to what we're talking about.
Yeah, we coordinated this for sure. We wore themed shirts for the episode. So
You guys didn't tell me? Okay.
Bros,
I didn't get the memo.
I feel like you're the
I'm just
you're,
kidding.
you're
I actually did wear this for the episode.
I feel like you're part of the trio that lives just slightly too far away. to.
Wow, wow, that's
No, but
crazy.
you understand what I mean by that, right?
He doesn't even live that far away, man.
I don't even live that far away.
That's true.
I probably would have
Okay,
hanged out with you guys if
anything-
I wasn't
anything-
working
if
today.
any- That's true. If anything, it's more of
The vibe.
this. No, the squad. If we're talking or the quad, Foster's the one that lives like slightly too far away.
He lives. Okay, let's not dox Foster on the podcast.
He
but
lives.
He lives pretty far away from us, so.
Yeah, like it's just slightly far enough away where you're like, you have to come over here if
Yeah.
you wanna.
That's true.
Although I have gone up over there because it's
I'm fine with driving long distances. I just hate having to spend the money on the gas.
yeah. Well,
I have
especially
a
with
much more gas efficient car now, but before it was bad.
Joe
how many miles per
Biden.
gallon does that thing get?
More than my Jeep does. Say that much. I don't remember. I haven't checked. But the point
Just
is,
walk.
Just walk, guys. Get a bike. Everything is in walking distance if you have enough time.
Boom, 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 boom,
Dude, I love walking. I'm not gonna lie.
We should go for a walk.
We should go for a walk afterwards.
Right now,
we
guys.
should go for a walking podcast.
Walking
Like
podcast.
throughout,
The audio.
throughout my sketchy neighborhood.
The audio
you know?
would be so bad.
Dogs barking.
and
cars driving
homeless
by.
people going
Meth
through
heads,
the-
methin.
No.
Methin.
Homeless people going through your trash bins.
Yeah.
So true.
I'm not kidding.
No, they do that at my
Really?
on what?
Yeah, I guess that.
When we put them out Sunday night in the morning, like really early, they just come out and dig through to get cans, and they go to Oregon and get the money.
Bottle drop, man.
I mean, okay, if it weren't for like how like gross it is to do that, it's not a bad way to make some extra money.
I've seen some crazy videos on people who do like dumpster diving. Not gonna lie.
I mean, what?
But it's just that it's so gross that
With airsoft
We
guns.
haven't even gotten there
with
yet. man.
airsoft guns.
Calm
with
down.
airsoft guns.
All right, let's dive into our first question. This feels. I don't know if is dumpster diving illegal?
I mean,
I don't know.
Is it frowned upon?
Jamie, pull it up.
Jamie, pull up the law right now.
Was it-
Whole-
is it
the
Jamie?
whole law. Jamie? Yeah, I think it's Jamie. Anyways, I don't know if it's illegal, but we're gonna ask our first question here. This is a question I've asked a lot of people. I've asked everyone at my workplace, lots of people at church. It's a very good question, and I want to ask you. Put your answer in the comments because I think it's a funny question to ask people.
It could get really bad really
It
quick.
can get really bad. I've had some very crazy questions and some very tame questions. So,
Or answers to the
or yeah, right. Point is, if you could commit one free crime, what would you do? And
Wait, is it the one free crime where like then no one can
no
ever do-
punishment? Oh no, not that one.
Okay,
It's just
'cause that one
you-
is-
that one gets really bad.
Yeah.
This one
Yeah.
is a lot more tame. You could commit one crime, no jail time, no fines, no punishment whatsoever for one crime. What are you gonna do?
I know mine.
then say it.
Street racing. Just street
You
racing
can have one good night.
in a street racing in the snow in my truck. That would be it.
For context on this question too, I've had people ask me if they commit multiple crimes, or like a single action that has multiple accounts of murder or something to it. It's like an overarching action, I would say.
Okay. So
that, like,
so
that would be within the
because
boundaries.
whatever I do, I could get multiple.
Yeah, you
I
could commit
break
a
so
lot of
many- I
traffic
could,
laws
I
doing
could commit
that.
a lot of crimes doing that one thing.
That's true. So I had to clarify. It's kind of a one umbrella
One
action.
action,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you get no punishment for it, basically.
Yeah, I would just it would have to be snowing so I could actually drift my truck, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Just to rip the streets, and
I'd
Yeah.
honestly probably like rob some rich person or just go or
Wait,
just
that's
go,
actually such a better idea.
or just go steal something that's worth a lot of money or like rob a bank
All right.
because you can just get a ton of money.
Here's the thing. Everyone's thinking you have to put so much effort into that. You have to.
Yeah, but it's
You have to
It's
gear
not-
up. You have to go.
robbing a bank.
Find a rich person. You have to go
Okay,
rob a
if I
bank.
go rob a bank, I just go in there. No cops are gonna come. I just go get my money and I leave.
No. It's like you still have to like go through the action. You just don't get charged.
Oh wait,
for
so
it.
I have to like. Well,
So
I'm
you
not
have
gonna
to-
ki-
you
I
have
won't
to
kill
put
any-
in
I
the
won't kill
effort.
anyone. I mean, wait.
Wait,
Wait,
hold on,
maybe
I have a
not.
better one, but
Maybe not.
I'll say it.
I don't know if I want.
It's
to.
simple. It's simple, guys.
I want to put a gun to someone's head just to get some money.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know actually.
That's why my answer is you just commit tax fraud, and you just tell them that you just tell them that your tax return is like $3 billion. They send you the money, and then they realize you're
Wait.
wrong, and then the government just sends you the money, and you have to just sit in the comfort of your home,
Okay,
or
I think
you just take out a loan.
We're the dumb ones.
You just take out a massive loan of money, and then you just default on your loan, and they can't charge you for it, and you just take a free loan and just take all that money, and you just have it now.
I think he's put a little bit too much thought into this question.
Listen, I've asked this question to
Have
a lot
you done
of
this?
people.
Have you done this already?
I've had a lot of time to think about this question. Is all I'm saying.
You didn't say no.
right? I
Is
Scout's honor. I
Is
wasn't a
that is
scout.
that the first thing that came to the top of your head?
Yes.
We're
It's-
we're just retarded.
It's just easy. They just send you the money. Like
Dang.
it's that easy. They wire it
That's
straight
better
to
than
you.
what I'm doing.
So hold on, you telling me I could put how many ever dollars the U.S. is in
You-
debt into my bank account?
Basically, yeah. In
Like,
theory,
what was it? Like,
in theory, you could.
how much in debt?
We're like
Too much.
several
A
trillion
lot.
dollars in debt right now.
So I
So
could be a trillion. First
I-
trillionaire.
okay, it's pretty easy. You just say like when you're making your tax return, when you're filing your taxes, you just say I donated like $2 billion to charity, and because a lot of charity donations are tax write-offs, they'll send you back the money. And so you just say you donate a bunch of money to charity, and they just send you the money back to you. And then it's that easy.
But
Because then they'll realize, I mean, like, it's on the assumption they're going to send
I'm gonna
you
do
money.
this. I'm gonna do this IRL.
Chat, this is called tax fraud. You cannot do this legally.
You can do it.
You can do it, and you will go to jail.
Who's gonna stop me?
yeah, that,
Second Amendment.
Getting too deep already.
What? Oh,
We're getting deep already, man.
what?
What the heck?
Taxes? What?
Taxes?
Huh? Who does that?
Throw the tea in the harbor, guys.
Real dude.
If y'all didn't celebrate your 4th of July throwing tea in the ocean, then you're no friend of mine.
Throw your
you know?
tea in the harbor and drink a beer.
Throw your car batteries in the ocean. Have you seen that?
No.
It's like a,
that's so
these
bad.
these memes that are like me training to be strong for my future wife. Nah, me training to be strong for my grandma so I can throw her car batteries in the ocean.
What?
It's a long story. Anyways,
Like touchpad.
touchpad guys. What was your
You know, it was that until
What?
you said what you said.
Oh no.
What?
All right,
long
this
was that
guy,
muted?
this guy,
We
not
don't
that
know.
long. I don't think it was very long.
Hopefully not.
This
I
guy
didn't
is
notice.
terrible at like muting his mic and stuff. He messes with his mic and it ruins it all the time. So if he goes quiet for a bit, that's why. It's fine. You didn't say much at the time, anyways.
Yeah, that's true. I wasn't
Dang,
really
bro,
important.
that's crazy.
Now that we caught that, what is your other crime that you want to commit?
It sounds really dumb compared to what you said now. Like,
People say that too
like
much.
really dumb.
Just say it. Say your answer.
Just like steal a multi-million-dollar car.
That was one of my first answers too. Not gonna lie. When I first asked people that question, they asked me that.
Question on which one? I don't know. Actually, hold on. If I'm being realistic with this, because if your choice, like I couldn't choose that, and if I couldn't choose to make a ton of money somehow, for me it'd be to go to a dealership, grab the keys to a brand new car. I don't know. I would say I want the GR Corolla, but that's been having some problems recently.
Don't get that car. Apparently, don't do it.
I mean, like literally catching on fire. Like
That's my bad, guys.
Toyota, what are you doing? You need to fix that, cause and you're not. And by the way, they're not even refunding the
That's crazy.
people who bought it, because
Womp womp.
it says like, oh, you went 85 miles an hour once.
Oh, I heard about
Uh,
I heard about that. That's crazy.
That's what that is.
I'm gonna put a little.
So-
I'm gonna put a little thingy under Michael
Yeah.
here. It says Michael's car rant for the episode, and it has like a timer that just counts down for
Yeah.
when it's it's
But you
over.
can't say that. You have to.
No, I'm gonna do it now.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
cut
yeah.
that part out. Anyways.
Yeah, cut it out. Cut it out.
Yeah, I
Get
saw a thing on Instagram Reels about that, and I was shocked. Do you guys? Okay, slightly unrelated topic, but I had to bring it up because it's crazy. Did you guys hear about the guy whose wife died of an allergic reaction at Disneyland, and he tried?
recently,
This is recent, and
Like-
did you guys hear about this?
like a month ago, or like
Oh,
yesterday,
within the
like,
past
a week
month.
ago?
Within the past month, for
Okay.
sure. She died of
Hershey.
an allergic reaction because they said that there wasn't the thing in it, and then there was, and she died. Like she specifically said, "Hey, I have this allergy," and they were like, "Okay, we'll take care of that," and they didn't.
So don't take Elias to Disneyland.
Don't take Elias to Disneyland. He's been there way more than any of us have, though.
I hate.
But anyways, point is, they ordered this food, and she dies of an allergic reaction. dead, like done for, dunzo, bye-bye. And the husband goes to sue Disney Plus. I mean, sorry, they go to sue Disney, and Disney says, sorry, you have a Disney Plus account. And if you had read the fine print, there is an agreement that you will, I think it's like arbitrate, what's the word? Arbitration agreement? I think that's what it is.
I don't know.
Basically, in the fine print of Disney Plus subscription says that you are forfeiting the right to sue Disney as a company.
Bro did not read the terms and conditions.
No
Hold
one
on,
did.
hold on,
So
hold
now
on.
everyone's realizing that if you own a Disney Plus account, you signed an agreement that you were
Wait,
no
I
longer.
don't own it though.
It depends on who owns it, but
I have a question though. What if you have it and then you get rid of it? Do those terms
you still sign the agreement. It's still a legal document that says you agreed to the terms and conditions.
That's actually some.
Yeah, this is real, by the way, guys. And Disney's literally saying, sorry, too bad for your wife, but you're not allowed to sue us
We
because
should all sue Disney for him.
thing is we can't do that.
You can't just sue for nothing.
Basically, every person who has a Disney Plus account can't sue Disney. Because of
I
this.
don't.
You can't
I
even-
didn't sign the Disney Plus account.
I don't know, man. They're gonna. I'm sure there's some part in the clause too that says if you're a user of the same Disney Plus account, you agree to the same terms and conditions.
Yeah. What's your proof? How do you prove that I used it?
You have to. They have their ways. If
Okay,
they're listening to
then-
my phone, then they can do a lot of
Okay,
things.
invasion of privacy. I'm
Oh, there, dude.
Second Amendment, baby. I'm coming for you.
Oh man,
That's crazy.
that's gonna be
That's what I'm saying though.
something. Yeah, it was crazy. This is like not too long ago too, and the guy is like devastated of it because his wife is dead.
I mean, he should use the Second Amendment. I'm just saying.
And they're not. Are they even gonna like do anything about
No.
it? They're just gonna say.
Thing is too, this is like clause in like the Disneyland, like I don't know what, like the rules of Disneyland basically that say that people aren't allowed to die in Disneyland, even if because it's like the happiest place on earth. So if you die in Disneyland, they won't declare that you were dead until you're off of Disneyland property, which means no one has ever died in Disneyland legally. Like according to medical officials, no one has ever died in Disneyland.
That's
They can
Because
allow,
they
like,
will,
you can,
they
you
will
can
remove you
die.
from the property while you are already dead, but they won't declare you to be dead
so you're
until
saying I
you're
could kill
gone.
someone at Disneyland and not get charged for it?
You'd get charged. You just wouldn't be. You wouldn't be charged with killing them inside Disneyland.
Do they
You'd kill them.
Do they pay?
outside
Do they pay them
Disneyland.
to take them off and then declare them off? or
Basically,
what?
yeah. They have like medical officials on the scene who are like part of the Disney company, and they will remove people. Like, there's like been terrible accidents at Disneyland. People are like obviously dead at the scene because like their head is missing or something, and they will remove the people from the property before they're signed the official death certificate because no one's allowed to die in Disneyland.
That's why you don't
So-
support Disney.
This has been a thing for years. I've learned about this when I was like 15, and it scared the crap out of me. So, Disney is an evil company, and
I
it
mean, I
was
knew
it was
that,
started by
but-
a Nazi. Maybe.
Let's not get into this topic. This
have
will
to get
have
that
a whole
out.
nother.
That'll be another
It's gonna be
podcast.
bad. Yeah, next podcast talking about how bad
Hitler.
Disney is, or in Hitler. Yeah.
We actually, like you don't have to put this in, but we should actually talk about, just movie companies or
Like
filmmaking-
Hollywood.
Yes,
I
Hollywood.
agree. We should do it.
I think that would be that would make for a good episode.
We're gonna die. Probably. We're gonna assassinate us.
Y'all heard about actually, what was it called? Whatever. You ever heard of it?
No.
I'll tell you another time. That's a long story. I'm not into conspiracies. These are actually real
I
things.
am.
Okay, you can look them up right
I'm
now.
into a lot of conspiracy. We already talked about.
We were talking about
those.
conspiracies one time, but these are all real stories, by the way. You can look these up. All right, I promise you these are real. Anyways, on that topic,
Oh, I have a topic that we could talk about maybe
Hmm.
sometime, but I'm not gonna bring it up because I don't know if I'm allowed to say it.
okay.
No, it's not. It's not what you think.
You can also turn down your gate. Okay.
Maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
I think the topic, the subject alone, is a little bit touchy.
Because I
for
got a lot of
sure.
conspiracies on that.
I'm sure a lot of them are right, but
Probably. I guess we're. Hopefully they get
it's
released.
getting hot in here.
Like the documents.
He
can
gets
be-
released because he's not dead. They faked his death, guys.
What?
You
It's fine, we'll clip it out. We'll clip it out.
Anyways,
No, you just bleep it out.
that's just true, honestly. Yeah, I should add beeping over what we say sometimes, just because it makes it way funnier.
Oh, instead of clipping. Or
yeah,
instead
because
of
you can
cutting
just
it
see
out.
us talking. It's just
That
like
actually
you
is a
don't
better
know who
idea.
said.
Just mute it or something.
That'd be funny. Anyways, Any other crimes you'd commit?
I mean, no.
No.
I just realized how dark that could really get.
Anyways, guys,
Let's move on.
don't commit crimes.
Yeah.
If I have to say it,
There is consequences, okay?
But
you
if you
will
do
not
wanna-
get a get out of jail free card in real
Yeah,
life.
no, you won't.
Okay.
But if you ever do want to go drifting in snow, just go to a parking lot with no cars in it.
Go
And
to
you'll
BLM
most
line or
likely
something.
be let off.
Go to the
that with,
police
like, no
station
ticket.
parking lot.
Yeah, go drift around the police station parking lot.
Yeah,
guys.
if you're retarded, I don't know.
Do it.
Do it.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it.
All right.
Now this is kind of, leads into what we were talking about previously on some of the things that you guys are saying to use the Second Amendment about. But our second question for this episode is, are certain actions permissible if done for the right reasons? Now,
And what kind of actions are we talking
this
about?
I feel like this question comes down to a scale where the weight of the action has to match the weight of the reasons to do it, right?
yeah.
Because there's a lot of actions out there that even if you had good reasons, the weight of the action itself is still not permissible to do it. You know? Like
Like killing an
sometimes
innocent person.
doing too much, even for the right reason, if the action is too heavy, you're still a bad guy for it in a way. You know what I mean?
In this world.
Yeah. There's a scale of these things that you have to kind of find where the balance is. In that, have you ever heard this? I don't remember his name, and I feel so bad now. But okay, for example, using historical example, for my opinion on this topic, you guys know the story of the Killdozer?
Yeah. Kinda. Like
I think
I
I
know
know
what
maybe
it
a
is.
little, but
Is no
like-
Killdozer?
Some guy, he got into a legal fight with companies around his shop,
Mhm.
and he was trying to buy land or something, but the town hall was like, nope. And then he, over the span of like a year or something like that, he slowly built up a bulldozer with a bunch of hardened steel plates to armorize it, and he just kind of ran over the town hall and stuff and killed all. I think no, there
No
was
one- no one died.
No one died. Never mind.
He
no one
never
died,
killed
sorry.
anyone. Okay, let me be clear.
But he just ran over the town hall and destroyed
He
it.
destroyed a lot of things.
And but big action there.
Yeah.
But the reasons behind it are, it's not, I wouldn't say it's justifiable, but they're there, and you can understand why he did it. You can understand why he did
Basically, he owned a muffler shop, and he was doing. He had some kind of legal battle of some
Yeah.
sort with the town, and it was completely unjust
Yeah.
against him. He
yeah.
was very much being taken advantage of by the government, and as revenge, basically, he went on a massive rampage and just destroyed the entire town. Basically,
Yeah.
like a whole street, like a whole city block was just like flattened by this guy.
Yeah.
And he didn't stop, and he had like firearms with him to defend himself from like law enforcement and stuff. And he didn't stop until like the bulldozer's like engine overheated, because the cops were shooting at the cooling system and stuff. So
Dang.
people like just like, you got to reinforce the cooling system next time. But
Next time.
yeah, it's a big
First time.
action. First time.
First time.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a time machine and go back and be like, make sure you reinforce the cooling system, and like disappear. Anyways, that's a really big action. And
Yeah.
while it's funny to talk about the story, in the context of the actual destruction that occurred because of it, I don't think it was fully justified.
No.
That being said,
You can understand
Yeah.
why he did it.
you can get why he did it for sure. But like, it wasn't like anyone died, right? It
no
was
one
just
died.
that his livelihood was at stake. But careers will always come back. Legal battles, the government will always try to control people, and it's not our job to be subject to those things. But sometimes you have to just admit that we live in a fallen world, and sometimes you just kind of get the short end of the stick.
Sometimes it sucks living in the U.S.
That's true. It's
'Cause
still a great country.
because our
but
government is
we've got some
corrupt.
problems.
Our government's corrupt.
Yeah.
Because
what's your thoughts on that?
hold on, one more thing. our 425, I think that's how many it is, representatives or something. There is more crimes committed, like, in that field, right? Of the people in there, they have all committed more crimes or more felonies, whatever you want to call it, than any sport in the U.S. Like, any of the NFL, like, total of NFL players, total of MLB players. Like, they've
I know
committed
what
way
video
more.
you heard that from.
Yes.
I'm not entirely certain if those numbers are accurate.
I'm not sure how
but-
accurate it is, but it doesn't
but it
sound
is
wrong
bad still.
in some ways. You know what? Let's back it up. Let's
You want to fact check that?
yes, let's fact check.
In the meantime, I want to hear Austin's thoughts on Killdozer.
I don't know. I mean, don't know much about it, so I don't know if I have input on that. But I would say more. Because what was the question? Certain actions.
Was it a permissible choice based on the reasons he was doing it for?
I mean, I don't think. I think it's for that thing at least. I think it's just like you have to leave it alone. Like, you might be in the right, but you just have to lose that fight.
Yeah. Sometimes it's people talk about like you might have won the battle, but you haven't won the war.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you have to lose a battle, and it's not that you're losing the war of life. It's just one battle.
Yeah.
So I like to agree with it because it's kind of funny, to just the story and the way people talk about it online. But I don't think the actual story itself and the destruction that occurred and the reasons he was doing it for were actually good enough to do that, basically. So, and on a very different side of the scale, in my opinion, is that this one story, which is, there's video of this up there, you can find it. Don't look at it if you're young, or don't look into the story if you're sensitive to these topics. But also, if you're sensitive to these topics, you probably should not listen to this episode, because we're going to get a lot more into this. But there was a story about this girl who was, let's say, kidnapped by this man and murdered. And this was all documented stuff that actually happened. Terrible, terrible stuff. Absolutely awful. And the father of this girl fought in court so badly for this man to be sent to jail, and he thought that the punishment wasn't enough, which is a valid reaction, I think, to a lot of people when it comes to kidnap and murder cases. We'll just say kidnapping, because I don't know if that word is allowed on YouTube, but
I think I know. Okay, yeah, never mind.
you can understand what would happen if
What
a
is-
teenage girl was kidnapped.
What does that mean? Aaron.
I have no idea.
You're supposed to know what that means.
Okay,
that
buddy.
work's too big for me.
Erroneous? Erroneous?
I don't know.
It might mean that there's a lot of errors to it. Anyways,
Yeah.
point is, there is a video out there of the guy who kidnapped and murdered this girl walking through an airport. Basically, he was going through the airport to go to the court hearing or something, or another court hearing in a different county. I don't know exactly what it was. He was walking through the airport, and the news is just getting this. It's great. This guy is walking around. He's all smug. He's got his hands behind his back. He's handcuffed. He's getting escorted by cops. They walk past this phone booth, and the dad of the girl is in the background at the phone booth. He drops the phone under his arm, shoots this guy in the head, like bam.
I've seen
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Hold on.
I
was
don't know
not-
the
I
names.
was not listening to the whole thing, but is this about the father whose daughter got or
Saying
son-
kidnapped or was it her?
I think it was his son. It was his son. His son got kidnapped and
It's like kidnapped and killed, for the sake of.
he wasn't. Was he killed?
I don't remember. But
I-
point is,
I
you
don't-
get what we mean by
Stuff-
this,
yeah,
okay?
stuff-
but
Bad
he-
things
yeah.
happen to this
Bad
person.
things happened to him, and then he shot the, like, okay, first off, dad of the year, kind of, like, in my
If
head.
we're excusing it, then yes.
In-
But
in
we'll
my
have
head-
to talk
I
about
think
it
in
a
those
second.
instances, like I don't know. I mean, this might be kind of bad, like of course maybe in a biblical standpoint, but like
Yeah.
dads who kill like I can't say that. Cut that out.
We'll
Dad-
say we're gonna
Dad-
call them kidnappers, okay?
Dads
Just 'cause it's
dads
easier.
who
Kidnappers.
Dads who
Kidnappers.
kill
They like to nap with kids.
people who do
So,
things.
I know that's really bad, but
Okay.
you get
Yeah.
what I'm
Dads
saying.
who do things that like kill people who did
Call 'em
stuff to
kidnappers.
their
Children.
children. I kind of think it's justified
In some
in
ways.
in some ways.
And this story is
okay.
crazy, by the way, because this guy's completely like 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 drunk, badly drunk when this is happening, and he like made this choice on a whim. And he is like at the phone booth, under his arm, makes this perfect shot, hits no one else in the crowd, hits only the guy who killed him.
It's all on video.
It's all on video too.
It is on YouTube, by the way.
That doesn't mean you should watch it. I don't, there's no not
Pull up
like
the clip.
uncensored, but no, we're not showing that
It,
right now.
I will say it's not very gory, like at all. All you see is just the hair kind of go tuft up, and then he's on the ground.
I'm not even sure if you can find the uncensored one, but it's
No,
the video's out there.
It is it's literally on YouTube because it's not. It's just boom, and then he's on the ground.
It's a crazy story. And in that case, I look at the context and I have to agree that it was a weighty action, but it had a weighty reason behind it. And in the Old Testament, it's pretty clear what things are like necessary
okay.
to be punished with the death penalty. Like capital punishment is permitted for things like that. And so I think in that case.
This page lists 497 instances of alleged and actual misconduct by legislators in the United States Congress from 1789 to the present. So, an allegation of misconduct listed on this page does not imply guilt unless it is followed by an official determination of guilt. Conversely, the absence of determination of guilt does not imply innocence because congressional investigative bodies are political, not judicial.
I'm at 400 and what?
This page lists 497 instances. So this is from 1789 to the present. That's how many that has happened in our U.S. Congress.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
So even if those numbers beforehand of that one video aren't true, that is still a number that's way too high.
Yeah, that's bad.
Even if it's like speeding and stuff like that. I know I did.
Within reason,
Yes.
if you are a part of the government as an official, you should be very, very good at following the laws that you put in place.
That and I think one of the big things with government in general is kind of like with jobs. I think you should have a clean driver record, no criminal history, or if you do have a criminal history that, or if you get a criminal history while you're in the U.S. Congress, you should be booted out, and then so on and so forth. You cannot be making the rules and breaking them. That's my take on our government at the moment. And I'm sure there's actual laws saying that, but our government is corrupt. So
I mean, honestly, thinking you said what 400 ever.
497.
I bet most of those have happened more recently than like. I mean, I'm not saying of course there's definitely been throughout, but like
let me look deeper into this.
I bet a lot of them have been more recent than like a long time ago.
Yeah, I wouldn't assume most of them are like old, because like how many of those records do we even still have? You know, from like 100 years ago. So.
Me when I'm driving too fast in the 1800s.
Yeah, driving 80 on the highway in 1776. Yeah, I think I don't know. In the context of this question, it's kind of a really broad question, but at the end of the day,
hard.
yes, but within reason at the same time too. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for the death penalty.
Okay.
What?
The Old Testament talks about.
Okay.
Look, man, you've been researching this. We're talking about like the death penalty and stuff,
Yeah.
man.
Okay, so death penalty.
In the Old Testament, there's a lot. I can find the scripture, but it talks about capital punishment. That there are certain things that it's like how God intended society to be controlled, basically. That there are certain things. Here's the thing.
Because there's certain things that only God can judge justly, I think.
I think one of the
It's
big
with-
things people mess up, and this is big. Maybe this is a good segue into our final question because we're talking about this for a while.
Yep.
God can forgive any sin. Laying out the table right now. That is a thing he can do. And
Yep.
he does do that very frequently. Like the thief on the cross. It's not like he had any time to do any right by it, but he was still forgiven and he went to heaven.
Yep.
Another big thing is, though, the thief on the cross wasn't released from all punishment of his sin just because he was forgiven. When you sin, there are consequences, no matter what. On this earth, there is consequence for sin, no matter what it is, big or small. There's always going to be a consequence. My mom always says, you don't sin in a vacuum. Your sin makes ripples, and it's going to affect the world around you, no matter what you do.
That's a bar.
You can still be forgiven for those things, and you are forgiven for those things, but you're still going to have to pay for the punishment of committing that action. Because the things you do,
Because you are not in your own world. There's other people in your world.
you're committing an action. Actions have reactions.
Yep.
So any action is going to have a reaction. And maybe you committed an action that is completely unforgivable on earth, that you are literally killed for doing that action because it's so bad.
Yep.
You can still be forgiven by God for it, but you're still going to have to pay the punishment for that action on earth. It's the eternal punishment that we're released from, not the momentary punishment. And there are times when God might lessen the blow of those sins on people because he forgives them.
Yep.
That doesn't mean that he always does.
Yes, and also God is in control of all of those things, whether you think that or not. Because in a lot of instances, you look in this world and you see a lot of mayhem and destruction, and you kind of ask the question of, how is God in control of this when all this is going to crap? And my first thing to say to that is, well, how do you know what God's plan looks like? I'm not saying that's good, what that's happening, but we have no idea what that plan looks like. We know what it's gonna do, how the outcome's gonna be, but we don't know how it's gonna get to that, right? And it's interesting to watch that all pan out.
It is weird because people are like, oh, God can't be loving and just. I'm like, he literally can, and he is all the time. And his punishment, his justice, is often the justice that occurs on earth.
Yeah.
It's also often the one that occurs after death. But that's not, because he's loving, he gives you the chance to be released from that.
Yep.
You know? Like, he...
Ooh.
What?
I got a question for like another episode.
Okay. Write it down, or else you'll forget.
Put in notes.
But I don't know. I think people have a hard time believing in both because they think that human justice is only human justice. Justice on earth is still justice, and it's still from God. All things that are good are from God, and justice is good. But sometimes the justice that people face is the one that is here, not the one that happens there. You know what I mean?
I think I know what you're saying.
What do you think about that?
I mean, it's like, I'm trying to think, like all the actions I guess you do here, it's like you may never be forgiven by like a certain person. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of actions you can do where you won't be forgiven by another person, but just like the only forgiveness, I guess that really matters is just like, what am I trying to say? I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now.
I think a big key is too that,
I'm so tired.
like, any sin still results in capital punishment, in eternal capital punishment, even if it's the smallest sin. And there's no hierarchy of sins, but there's hierarchy of the consequences on earth for sure. By the end of the day, any sin still leads to hell, and every sin needs to be repented of. Yeah, like there's no scale in the afterlife of like what sins are worse than others. But at the end of the day, there's a reason why the Old Testament law has the death penalty for certain things, because those sins have a bigger effect on earth, and as such require bigger justice on earth. You know, I actually have a list here of a couple of various ones.
Okay, the question I have is like the question I had an idea of. I actually answered it in my head really quick. Because when I started writing it down, I was like, wait, that's actually kind of a dumb question. Because it was, can you be saved after death if you're not saved? Which I think is no, because
in a way you are saved after death, because
yes,
like,
but let's say someone who never believed in Jesus Christ and died, then they get sent to the
Sheol.
Sheol,
Waiting place.
to be judged, and then when they do get judged, do they have that chance to be saved? Which I would think not.
The answer is no,
Yeah.
because the physical body is also a part of the resurrection.
Right.
And if you have left your physical body, you cannot bring your physical body with you into salvation, which means that you no longer have a part of yourself that is necessary for surrendering your life to Christ.
Mm. Yeah.
If you have more questions on that, leave a comment. We will talk about it. Join our Discord server. That's what we should
You know,
Discord name too.
I'm
What?
thinking.
Crossroads.
I'm thinking about
wait, Crossroad Community.
That's a good one.
that. Yeah.
Anyways, that's
I'm
completely
thinking-
unrelated to the topic.
Questions like more like that. I think, maybe really obvious to us.
Yeah.
But to other people who don't know much about Christianity, I think we need more questions like that.
Sure.
Like a lot of get more like what if questions. I guess kind of like
what if questions and just genuine like what is Christian, like what are the basic rules?
Yeah.
Almost, because it's a deep question. Like it's a very in-depth question, because it's like, well, what if someone dies without knowing Christ, which is like we already know the answer to that too. If someone
The secret is no one can die without knowing Christ.
yes, and
I'm not going to elaborate because I don't want to take the time.
and
to
also, doesn't that go? Who is it? The children or something that died that people always bring up. It's like, well, God killed the children and stuff like that.
to
They
them
went-
belongs the kingdom of heaven.
They went to heaven.
Romans talks about the law being written on our hearts, and that all people are subject to the law. If you have more questions on that, read Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. It's a banger book. Whoever, no matter who you are, everyone is subject to the law, whether they know it or not, and they can feel it in their hearts when they do something bad.
Because with some people, I think we were talking about this at The Verge one time, or I don't remember when. I don't remember who, what, when, where. But whenever someone... Also, that's supposed to be green. It's going to drive me nuts. Where's green?
Is this turned off?
There's green.
So
Yeah, yours
boring.
is-
Hold on.
Your mic isn't
No, it's
turned off.
on, it's just the lights.
There you go.
There you go. Anyways,
Sorry, that was going to drive
super
me nuts.
important.
It was super important. No, it wasn't. But going back to... What was I talking about?
Were you talking about something at Verge?
Yeah, Verge. Whenever you do some... Even the people who don't know...
I'm sorry, I'm so tired.
who don't know Jesus, they... Since the law is written on our heart, whenever you do something sinful, or like you do a wrongdoing to someone, you feel bad about it, or you feel like, man, that was stupid. Like I shouldn't have done that, and it's interesting because that happens to everyone that without even realizing. But when you're in sin and you keep doing the same thing, right? You get used to it, and it's not until living in sin, right? We talked about this. I just can't put
You got it. Keep going.
the words together. And here comes the Joe Biden talking. I need someone to pick this up because I can't.
Let me pick it up for you.
Yes,
Because
because I know you know.
if you don't know what we mean by if you do something bad, you feel bad for it, and you just think that's like, oh, people don't know what sin is. If you here's your phone. This is your phone, yeah.
No.
What happens if I take it? It's not mine, is it?
No.
But who said it's yours? Not really anything actually that means this is yours, but it's still technically yours.
Mm-hmm.
But by all rules of the universe, when I take this from you, I feel bad and you feel bad because I took something that's yours. This is still yours, and I'm breaking some rule. There are laws that say you can't steal, but bring it down to a lower level.
Hold on, what did you say?
Huh? There are laws that say you can't steal.
Okay, I thought you said there isn't a law. I'm like,
There isn't
dude,
any
are
laws
you?
that-
Are you?
Steal everything you want, guys. No, I'm kidding.
Don't.
If you're on the bus and you're about to sit down, and I take your seat right before you sit down, you're gonna feel bad. There's no
Yeah.
law against that, but there's some human law on our hearts that tells us
to
that's
further
wrong.
go into that example. Let's say you didn't know that you took his seat that he's about to take.
Mm.
It's not until you know that you took someone's seat that you feel bad about that.
Yeah.
So
It's all about being conscious of the choice you're
Yes.
making, and that there is still something in our hearts that says what we're doing is wrong, even if there's no law against it. There is a law of what's right and wrong, because we can look at any action and say this is a right action or this is a wrong action. And that's only possible if there is a supreme good
yes,
and a supreme bad over that.
supreme good and a supreme evil.
Yeah, there has to be both, and because of that, because we can do that, means that there has to be something that judges our world in a way. So
Yeah.
to lead it from that into our last question for the day, how are we meant to defend ourselves in this world as Christians? Is murder okay if performed in self-defense?
Well, first off, if murder is killing someone without any reason or without any self-defense reason. Want to make that clarification, because murder is just killing someone blatantly for unjust reasons. Self-defense is either neutralizing someone, or like, let's say you put them in a headlock and they pass out. Would that be considered neutralizing? Would you
Yeah.
say? Because let's say they pulled a knife on you and they want your wallet and stuff, and then they start actually trying to get that from you. I would say it's justified to put them in a headlock, like putting aside Second Amendment, guns and everything like that.
Yeah, before we get into the part where we're actually killing people,
Yes.
started at a lower level.
Let's start at just basics. It's just to do that because your life is at stake.
Yeah.
So now when it comes to self-defense and this is stuff that I'm ranting off the top of my head. I am not I don't have anything from the Bible to really back this up because I need to read my Bible more.
We all do.
Yes. But
You do too. Read your Bible more. If you
Yes.
don't have a Bible, buy a Bible
or
and read it.
or just go to any
There's a Bible app. It's free.
that Bible app,
Download it.
and if you don't have a phone, which you should if you're watching this, unless you're watching this on a computer,
And you can definitely find it on a computer.
the what?
You can definitely find a Bible on a computer.
There's someone out there. There's like some Amish.
But if you don't, let's say, like, besides all of that, like online stuff, just go to a church and get a Bible. Make sure you don't go to a Latter-day Saints church or a Catholic, or
you can go to a Catholic church. It's okay.
well, you can go.
You're not gonna die if you go to a Catholic church. Okay.
No.
You won't die, but you'll.
The thing with Catholic churches is they do some weird stuff.
A lot of different praying
They
stuff.
they have
yeah.
a lot of traditions that are
Yeah.
a bit
Yeah.
odd, but you know. Point is, just don't go to Latter-day Saints
We're
church.
not-
Yeah, don't go into that.
Do not go to Latter-day Saints church. I don't care if
Just
you go.
get a actual Bible, the King James version or the
ESV.
ESV.
And if they have pride flags or tell you that you'll make money by praying, walk out.
But just go to your local church, and they would be happy to just give it to you.
That's a good point, because
'Cause-
I was gonna say, what about the Amish people who are watching this on like a black and white film? It's like a silent thing, like a silent film. It's like piano playing
Just,
back
just
there.
go to your church and take one. They want you to have a Bible, and if they don't want you to have a Bible, there's something wrong with that church. So
Go somewhere else.
now getting back to the question of
Self-defense.
self-defense. Now, when it comes to guns and life at stake, it, in my eyes, because there is a general law over us, it's justified to kill someone if your life is at stake. Because, and notice there's a lot of killing in the Bible, but it wasn't murder.
It's true.
What,
There's also a lot of murder in the Bible.
there's
too,
a ton of
but
murder, But there's a very fine distinction between murder and killing someone.
I think one big thing people bring up to refute that subject on self-defense is the part where Jesus says, if someone slaps you, turn the other cheek, right? That's a really big thing people bring out, and they
Yes.
talk about. Here's the thing.
But if they're constantly going after you, you have to do something about it. You can't just look away and walk away.
Here's the thing, too. If I smack Austin right now,
Do it, I dare you.
Just softly.
I really want to. That'd be really funny. Anyways, point is, if I smack you right now, oh my gosh, I thought you were gonna hit me, bro. I thought I was gonna die.
You should just smack him really hard.
I just smack them both right now. They're not gonna die.
No.
Okay? Jesus isn't saying if someone shoots you in the heart, turn to the other side so they can shoot the other side of your chest
Yes.
too. He's not saying if someone stabs you,
If
give
someone,
them another chance
if
to
someone-
stab you.
If someone does a minor misconduct on you, like
A slap,
walk it off.
it's
yes.
on the level of
or
an
let's
insult
let,
or
let's
a
yeah.
harsh look. It's not on the level of
Or
someone
let's say
actively threatening
one
your
you,
life.
one of your siblings gives you a nice punch in the arm or something like that.
I've gotten mollywopped by my siblings. I didn't kill them for it, all right? I let them hit me again, not gonna lie. I got kicked down
You
a flight of
just
stairs one time when I was a kid. Like
Bro
you know,
just
this
wanted
is-
to feel
this is
something.
Sparta. My sister like kicked me down a flight of stairs one time.
Dude,
I've been through some
do,
stuff,
do you
man.
need, do you need therapy for?
No, I let her kick me down again because I turned in the cheek. No, I'm kidding. Point is, a slap on the face is very different from actively threatening someone's life.
Yes.
You're not going to die if someone slaps you. It wouldn't be very fun.
I mean, unless it's like the slap boxing where you could get.
Dude, I love slap boxing. I'm not gonna. Or is that what it's called?
Yeah, slap boxing.
Slap fights or whatever.
Slap boxing.
Competitive.
It,
Have you
it's
seen this?
it's slap boxing.
Yeah, I know it.
The Russian guys who just let people smack each other.
They
So
go.
funny.
They go like
White,
this.
like hosted.
They go. And then they just.
It would just like
I
knock a
can't-
man's head
I
off.
can't.
Launch
Just
it.
Dude,
in.
I
hit-
wanted to launch it, but I
hits the
probably just hit
camera
the camera.
immediately and just not ruins everything. Anyways,
That'd actually be so fun.
yeah, those guys might kill you if they slap you.
Yeah.
But any normal person is not going to slap you hard enough to kill you. And
Yes.
Jesus talks in parables and analogies all the time. It's probably not an analogy. Like it's probably also physical, literally.
Yeah.
But also it's an analogy most of the time.
It can be taken both ways.
Yeah.
On that specific one. On some of his parables, they're not meant to be taken literally, which is something that a lot of
It's true.
Christians need to learn.
Or even non-Christians, like they'll take it like, oh, what does this mean then? Like they take it the wrong
Non-Christians
way.
and Christians alike.
True.
It goes both ways. Because there's some things that I've read on like myself. I've read and I'm like, huh?
You can read?
Oh, shut up.
My bad, guys.
Sing the ABCs right now.
Yeah, ABC's right now.
A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y and Z.
Oh, I thought he was going to screw it up at the last second.
okay,
bro.
I'm not gonna lie. Instead of saying Z, I was about to say G, and I don't know why. I'm not even joking.
That was so funny. That's actually cooked. Oh, anyways.
I know my ABCs. Once you sing
Next time, won't you sing with me?
next time, would you sing with me? I haven't said that part in a long time.
I do. I say it all the time.
I sing the ABCs like, every day, every morning.
I'm an English major, guys.
Yeah.
Shut up. Instead of. Yeah. You got a problem with that?
Not really.
Actually, I really don't care. Anyways, what's your opinion?
On self-defense.
Self-defense, yeah. And we're kind of staying shallow for now because there's deeper questions I want to ask you guys. But I'm gonna give it a few seconds.
I mean, I kind of have a similar take to what Michael was saying. I mean, I don't really have a biblical standpoint on this, but like,
If we're just talking,
if we're talking in just like self-defense reasons, I think, I guess you have to, depending on the reason, I think it is justified.
if your
All
life's
right.
at stake, it's justified. Basically.
Okay, here's the question for you guys. And I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here because I want a further conversation. But what if your life isn't at stake? What if it's your mom, your wife, your
Well,
sister,
that's
your
the
daughter?
one thing I was saying earlier, but like you know, if you're someone got kidnapped or whatever, it's like, or their life was like something happened to them.
Your life isn't at
You-
stake. Someone else's is.
Let's say, okay, the question is, like, at the specific moment right now, someone else's life is at stake.
What I'm saying is that when
And-
you guys are saying this, you're saying my life is at stake.
Yes, yes.
What if it's someone else's?
someone else's? Like, let's say there's an active shooter in.
So if I'm gonna shoot Jack should Michael be allowed to should Michael be allowed to shoot me? Is that self-defense? Yeah. If I'm gonna shoot Jack, Jack is your best friend ever.
Okay.
I'm gonna shoot him.
Let's say you're a random person.
I'm a random person.
Okay.
Is it justified? I mean, I'm asking the question to myself too. Is it
For me to
justified?
shoot you because you're about to shoot my friend?
Yeah.
Yes.
If they say, I'm going to shoot him if you don't give me all your money or something. Like, your life isn't at stake. It's just money. Money's going to come back. But someone else's life is at stake still.
Okay, it depends on the like very very fine details.
I think if it's money, it's like
if you
money.
What if they're in the line?
Jack, if you are at gunpoint to this random guy, and he doesn't see me, like let's say the circumstances permit that I'm able to draw my weapon without him being provoked by it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm drawing my weapon and shooting him because your life is at stake. This is a good question.
I know.
So since he doesn't have any way to stand up to, let's say he's totally unarmed and he's like kind of like far enough away to where he can't do anything, and he's kept his distance, which is what you should do, because there's some dumb people who like give me your money and they're right here, and sure it's still very
Yeah, what's up with that?
you get my point. It's up in your face. You can still do something about it. Am I still gonna shoot the person? Maybe or not. I don't know.
I do the thing in the movies where they like put their hand in like the part where it like can't go off anymore. Like it breaks their finger, but it's like you didn't get shot. Anyways,
But also,
in the hammer.
I also feel like at that point, like if say I'm the random person,
Depends.
if I'm the random person aiming at Jack,
and
I feel like your life is also in danger. Like if I have a gun. Like he has a gun. I feel like you can. Even though it's not pointing at you, you're still.
This person is clearly showing the intent or willingness to kill someone, which
Yes.
means if that person dies, the next person on the chopping block is you.
Yeah. So I think it's like even though you might not be the first one. Like your life is still in danger.
He's in immediate danger. I'm there. If I can do something about that, I'm doing something.
But why?
Because your life is at stake.
Is that allowed?
What do you mean?
You're saying a lot about the self-defense. If my life is at stake, if someone else's life is at stake.
Well, someone else's life is at stake, and let's see, you know them very well, and you have been friends with them for like 7 years, and you care for them. Then yeah, it's like a mother taking care of their child. Would you send a mother to jail for them shooting someone if their children are about to be taken by?
I wouldn't.
Exactly my point. And I know, okay, but I know you emphasized that I wouldn't. But if we're taking this to U.S. court,
that is at the end of the day, the big question is the U.S. court of law.
Jeez, the US
Just do
court
it somewhere
so
else.
retarded. When it comes
Do
to
it in that
that
one part of like Yellowstone where it's like everything's legal. Anyways, it's a
But
long story.
when
I have a
it-
lot of stories.
when it
Story
comes
time
to
with
that,
Jack.
of reasons why, like, so you're asking, why should I be able to protect you? It's because I know you, I care for you. And
But what if it wasn't Jack? What if it's not someone you know even? Because you know him. Would you being like I'm asking the question to myself too. Like, would we
Okay.
be willing to defend some like a random person who has a gun towards it? Like you're just like walking and just someone aims a gun at like a random person you don't even know.
depends on the person and how they look. Like, let's say it's
What, their complexion?
no. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about first off their gender, what they have with them, like children and stuff like that.
You're casing the
If-
situation is what you mean.
If it's a homeless man versus another homeless man, one homeless man has a gun, and it's a homeless man.
Start taking bets.
Me personally,
Dang it, dude.
we're trying to have a serious conversation.
It's a funny podcast. We're supposed to say funny things.
I know, but it's still like
You were saying a homeless man is shooting.
is
shoot
about to
homeless
shoot
man.
another homeless man. I don't know.
I mean, I'm that's the same thing with me. Is like
What if he stole his Fent?
I mean, that's the same thing. Is that something where you would just like, oh, this guy's like, they're just fighting over there? It's like, are you just
Yeah.
like, it might be a thing where it's like, I'm probably just gonna keep walking,
Yeah.
and it's like,
It's
if
like,
they're
a gang shootout is going on right
If
now.
it, if
well, that's the
it's-
thing where it's like you're gonna run away because it's like I
that's
feel like
their own ordeal kind of thing.
you're like,
But now let's switch the circumstances to some really sketchy looking guy, and let's say he's on the back side. He's on the side of a Target. I don't know why I'm using Target. It's just because we went to Target today.
We did go to Target. It's true.
And it's on the side of a Target, and there's a mother with 2 children. I'm gonna take action on that. First off, I can't really take action right now because I'm not 21 yet to carry. But let's say I'm 21, I'm able
nobody's
to
stopping you.
take action on that. I'm taking action because that's a mother and 2 children's lives at stake.
What if a woman draws a gun on a man far larger than her, and you don't know what the context is?
I feel we're interrogating Michael right now.
I'm asking you this question too.
I know. I'm asking myself questions too. I just feel like he's on. I'm not answering him.
You want
Well,
to answer?
So I don't know the context to a woman drawing a gun on a man.
Hmm.
If I am within, like, depending on how heated this is, like how heated she looks, like if has the gun,
She seems like she has the intent to kill this person.
I think best thing to do in that situation is talk with a firm, calm voice, and first off, see like, whoa, what's happening here? First off, what's the reason you pulled a gun on this guy? What's anything that he's done, and what do you think is the reason why she's pulled this? Like,
Crisis
so
negotiation.
just
I feel like
keep a calm
second.
voice. Try to cool this situation.
either
And that honestly, that should be my first question. That should be my first answer to any of this, because you notice how I didn't even say that to a guy on a mother and first off because it's children's lives at stake, and also
what if the children are in on it?
and also
She's trying to rob this guy.
it's also a mother's life at stake, which us male and females are equals, but we have different I'm trying to think of this.
He's trying to say this in a way that doesn't sound bad.
well, okay. One thing
So
I would add to this.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Well, can I say one thing? I say even if whether if it's a male or female, like whoever's shooting, like aiming a gun at who, it's like the main question is, do you want to be the hero? Because if you're in a store,
Or you're
with-
gonna be the villain.
like if you okay, I don't think it's a villain. Like if you're in a store and there's multiple people and either a guy holds a gun out on a girl or vice versa, most people are gonna be running away, screaming, scared. And there might be some people who are gonna try to be a hero and stop it. It's just like,
Most
do you want to be the hero?
Most people are not gonna want to be the hero.
It's like,
I
but
think.
I think that's the main question. Like I might think of is like, do I want to be a hero and try and stop this, or am I just gonna like run off and
Yeah.
not do anything?
Bystander effect.
Yeah,
A lot of people.
Ooh,
That's
I have a good.
a psychological thingy where people will just assume someone else is gonna take care of it and they just run away. They just leave a situation someone else saying in their head someone else is gonna do it, but then everyone says it and no one helps.
if you want to be the hero, then your life is gonna be probably more at stake.
It's true.
If you're trying to be the hero instead of just like running away.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
He's researching something. That's a good question. We'll talk about that later. You want to talk about that now? Or a different podcast?
No, just different.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, we probably should talk about it now. 'Cause
It's in the
it's-
context.
it's in the
Okay.
Just bring it up.
So, is it a sin to run away from a, let's say, shooter situation or a deadly situation? Is it a sin to run away from that as a bystander?
Was it a sin
Or
for Jonah to
bystander.
run away?
The what?
Was it a sin for Jonah to run away from God?
Like where he runs away when
Yeah.
God says go to,
When he says go this way and he goes the other way.
and he's like, I'm not going there. Yes, because he's defying God's word.
So if you're in a situation and you're in a place where we're in the context,
But we're
of,
not getting told to go do
okay, but
stop it.
in this situation, we're assuming we have the ability to stop this. We're not saying like we're completely unarmed and untrained and are like have nothing on us. We're just gonna go fist fight some like terrorists. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm an armed person capable of stopping another armed person. Within reason, I have the ability to do so. Because in the same context, it's like Jonah knew he was going to preach the gospel and ideally save those people. Like he knew he had the ability to do that. He was God's prophet. But he still chose to run away, even when he knew he had the ability to change that context. God didn't say that he was gonna rescue Nineveh. He said, go preach to Nineveh. And he still chose to not go,
Right.
not knowing what the actual end result was.
So you're saying like if you're gonna try and act this, like you don't know if you're gonna save the day, but you might.
But you have the ability
have
to
the
do
ability
so.
to
I'm
do
not
so.
saying be stupid and run headlong into a situation that you're guaranteed to die in, basically. Because that's not doing anything. That's just getting one more person killed.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus you have the ability to stop that, and you choose not to. Or you choose not to run the risk of not being able to stop it. Is that a sin?
I don't think it's. I don't think it's a sin to.
It's a very, very deep question.
Why is it not a sin compared to the context of Jonah and the Ninevites?
I think because one is like, I mean, God's not giving you a command to go, even if you. I don't know.
When's the last time you heard God's voice tell you to do something? Like actual audible in your head. Heard him tell you to do something.
I don't know. I'm trying to.
Does God speak through words, or does he speak through situations, through his creation?
Create more a lot of the time. Create like situations. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
And there's sometimes where I don't know if it's just me, but there's sometimes where you're in a situation and you have the gut feeling of like, to do it, like do this,
Yeah.
and then you're like,
That's why I'm saying you have the ability to do so.
yeah. You have the ability to stop the situation at hand,
Yes.
and you don't, and you choose not to attempt at that.
Mm-hmm. For the sake of your own safety. And the uncertainty of knowing whether or not you'll succeed or not.
I don't know if I would consider that a sin. Like
It's
even like I mean, of course,
Hmm.
hard. I mean, I don't know. It's like it's deep. It is super deep. I don't.
Well,
I
I'm stumped. It's a good question.
I mean, I think it's like one of those. This is like, of course, it's gonna be happening.
Why did I have to ask this question?
It's gonna be happening like so fast. It's like I feel like maybe I don't. If you act on it, it might have been. I mean, maybe God was calling you to act on it, but it's like such a. I mean, it's like one of those like really fast situations where like.
I'll give you a hint now.
I don't know.
Whether or not you do something, it's still God's plan.
Yeah.
Your choices doesn't change God's plan. The
Right.
difference is whether or not that thing that happens is actually for the good of the situation or for the bad of it.
So would you? So I asked.
Whatever you do, it's in God's plan that you chose to act or not to act. But the question is whether or not it was the right thing to do.
So what do you think it's a sin to not,
Act upon it.
yeah, to
I think, given the context, given the knowledge that you are a person protected by the Lord and that you have a home in heaven, and there are people in this situation who likely do not know Christ and have not accepted him as your Lord and Savior, and knowing that you have the ability to stop the situation, I think it is a sin. My life, what is?
Yeah,
is it Paul?
I think-
To live is Christ and to die is gain. That if I die, even if it's to protect one life, my life has already been saved.
Yeah.
And if it's good in God's plan for me to die for someone else's life, then as John says, there's no greater love than one sacrificing his life for a friend. And it's that same kind of love that Christ has shown to us, to sacrifice his life for our own. That we know that we are safe. And we're not saying that run headlong in situations. I had to say this like 100 times. I'm not saying run into a situation you're guaranteed to die. Don't run into a burning building when you have nothing to protect you. But if you have the ability to and the chance to stop something, like within reason, and you choose not to, it's a big choice. Inaction is still a choice. Inaction can still be a sin.
So I mean, this is not what's the self-defense, but it's like, would you consider if you have the opportunity to go preach the gospel, like share it, and you don't? Would you consider that? You think that would, you think that might be a similar thing of being a sin?
Was it a sin for Jonah to run away?
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
let's
I guess
say-
it was. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that kind of would be considered a sin
Yeah.
because maybe God's calling you to do something and you don't.
So, let's say let's pause for a second. So, I do not mean this to be like personal at all.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, like I'm it's the situation popped in my head. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to shoot shots at you because we're all sinners. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. But let's say you have the opportunity to go to be a missions worker, right? And you take the opportunity to do that, and then, or hold on, let me think. Might want to just edit this part because I'm still trying to put it together in my head. You have the opportunity to be a missions worker in a foreign country, and you don't take the opportunity. Is that a sin?
Hmm?
Okay.
I guess I could just keep going back to the question. Was it a sin for Jonah to run away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're saying you know for a fact that this is God's call for your life. Or maybe not know you for a fact, but the situation seems to lead in that direction. You still choose not to.
But I just want. I
But-
don't. I think
but-
it feels different. Like preaching. Like, of course, yes, you'll be saving a life. That could be another life of going. Like in that self-defense. Like that could be another life that's gonna go to heaven. But like, I'm just. I feel like I'm just something like. It's different from like if you don't from like the going to preach to something than like saving a life. I don't know if.
Also,
what I'm
hold on,
saying.
another question. Let's say you don't choose to go on the mission trip, but you still share the gospel with, like, in your workspace, let's say, and you still show kindness, and you try to be a role model as a
Mm.
Christian in your workspace, or let's say at school, and let's say you still refuse to go into that. Is that technically a sin? Because we're always still on a like a general mission trip almost every day, right?
Mm.
Because we're always our intentions as Christians is every day, first read the Bible, love God, and
Love
the basics. And I don't say the basics to like discriminate that stuff because it's still very important, but it's the basics.
Mm.
And when you are in those situations trying to share the gospel, but you still don't want to go into missionary work, is that still a sin if you don't want to go into missionary work, but you still
If I
share the...
drive on the highway one day and someone cuts me off and I curse them out, like scream out my window and yell at them, that's a sin for sure.
Yes.
The next day someone else cuts me off and I choose not to curse them out, is it still bad? Even if mentally I want to do it, but I choose not to. Thing is, just because you chose the one inaction and that one thing might be considered a sin, which sin is a really broad term. It
Yeah.
can do a lot of things. But
No,
it doesn't mean
it can be a lot of
it doesn't mean the
things.
rest of your life is still living under sin because you choose not to do that thing.
Yeah.
You, like I said before, you not doing that thing was still in God's plan. You didn't break God's plan. It was in God's plan to give you the opportunity and for you to choose not to do that.
Yeah.
Because free will and predestination both exist at the same time. So just because you chose not to do that one thing doesn't mean you're not going to commit any good acts for the rest of your life because you commit that one sin that seems in your head to have led your life in the wrong direction. You're still going in the right direction, the direction God has planned for you. The difference is whether or not you're a good steward of that thing. In the context of self-defense,
Getting back to that.
what do we think?
What was the question again? If
My point is that even if you choose not to act on the situation, it's still in God's plan. That you not acting was in God's plan, or you acting was in God's plan. Well, either way, that was God's plan, and that's how it was meant to go.
For sure.
The question is whether or not it's
does that mean that your free will is in God's plan?
Yes,
That
it's a paradox.
is a
The human brain cannot understand a 4D. He missed so
Okay,
badly.
I missed.
The human brain can't comprehend the 4D chess of that truth, that predestination and free will both exist. But suspend your disbelief on the topic because it will hurt your brain.
Yeah, it's
And
already
just
hurting my
understand that. My only question to you is that do you believe it was a sin? Because you didn't go against God's plan. But every sin that I commit was still in God's plan. And it still is ultimately being used for God's good. Even if it was a terrible sin. I just don't know it.
Sin is sin. I don't know, man.
Hard.
I can't.
Write that down. Well, I can tell you this for certain right now.
You guys some waters.
I don't need water. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm thirsty.
Yeah, but it's full.
All right. Oh. That's nice.
What's nice about
His mouth's hot from all that talking.
this is what's nice about this is
I'm
what's
so
nice
tired.
about
I know you are. It's okay.
doing the podcast in trailer is that we just have our own fridge basically.
Exactly. We have a whole studio here.
Okay, but we don't
Pop
use
pop
the oven.
pop some popcorn right now.
But the microwave.
corn dogs in the freezer though.
Food time. What was I gonna say?
And we have electricity. It's
Let me
our
put
own room.
a new situation in your heads. Last thing, okay?
Okay.
Situation.
Last feel before my
Last
brain
one.
breaks.
Okay. I'm talking about. Your life is not in danger. Someone else's life in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to act on that? Let's say someone. Okay, I'm gonna start with one situation. I'll slightly change it after that.
Mhm.
Someone breaks in your home and is stealing your things. Are you allowed to kill them?
Well, they broke into my home. It's my home. It's my private space. According to U.S., let's say, let's go according to
Oh
U.S.
no!
law.
Oh no! Not now.
Well, okay.
If you kill him, you're going to jail. Alright. Even if you miss.
Our government's corrupt. But
Okay. Besides our government and all this random. What is this?
Oh my.
It's Ty from work.
No shot.
That'd be so funny. He's
I thought
gonna
that
watch.
was your
He's
lo-
gonna watch this episode eventually. And be like, no way.
Wait. Who?
It's a friend from work. Anyways.
Yeah.
Back to the
I
situation.
thought that was your little brother. I'm like,
No. Wrong tie. Wrong tie. All right. Back to the situation.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, wait. Say it again.
Yeah.
A person broke into your house and is stealing your
right.
things. Are you allowed to kill them?
I mean. Should I?
I'm not gonna-
Should I
okay.
kill him? No. But will I kill him? Maybe.
I think.
Good answer.
In my head, let's say I am now married and have 3 kids in the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's all at stake.
That's
Right?
true.
Because you don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what they have, and I'm not going to turn on the lights so that they can see my house layout. Because by then I'm going to know my house layout. Because that's...
He's practiced CQB inside of his home.
No, I
You're gonna have guns you're gonna have guns planted around your house, like.
Michael walks out of his room. He hears people working the stairs. He punches a hole in the wall and just pulls out a 12-gauge shotgun planted in there.
Dude, I can't wait to go to your house, Michael.
It's a goated idea.
Okay, but, getting back to that.
All right.
Wife, kids, they're at stake. I'm not going to take the risk to go talk to them and be like, hey, what are you doing in here, bud?
I'm just asking about your stuff. They're just taking your stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if they're armed or what their intentions are, and I'm not taking the chance on whether or not they will be like, oh yeah, I'm just stealing their stuff, or like, most likely the situation, they're going to look and then depending on if they're armed or unarmed, they're gonna pull their weapon, start shooting, or
I was gonna say the whole thing.
Your
but
weapon?
I'm just gonna...
He's pulling his weapon
We're
out.
cutting that part out. We cannot say. You cannot keep that.
Dude, this is middle school humor. This is not.
I didn't say anything.
Yes, you did.
I don't
It's
think
called-
I would,
Yes, you
I
did.
would not.
You said.
No. Cut that out. You better cut that out.
I'll cut it out.
You can't cut it out because then maybe you have to cut
Okay.
it out. Okay.
Sorry.
I'll just mute it, and they'll be so confused what I said.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But let's say he's armed, and he draws his pistol, and I'm not gonna take the chance to like find out whether or not he's armed. And if anything, if I was able to sneak up on him with a baseball bat or something and just whack their head, I'd do that. If I could, but if I can't, and without doing that stealthily, then I'm gonna be like, let's say I have a Glock. I'm gonna be shooting them center of mass, and then right after that, calling 911 saying, "Hey, Robert broke into the house. I saw him because they broke into my house, and
So-
he needs medical attention right away." But let's say they're unarmed. I'm still not taking the chance of having my, like, even, okay, hold on. Even for my own life, because let's say I have wife and children, I'm supporting them, right? I'm not going to take a chance on my own life being taken so that they don't have a father to support the household.
So
Like-
killing is permitted even if your life is not in apparent danger.
Well, you don't know if it's in
What-
danger. I feel like in
That's
that
what I'm saying.
instance,
Your
you
life
don't
is
know.
not in apparent danger. In an apparent danger.
It
Well, it
could
could be,
it could
though.
very, very possibly.
Your
be.
life could always be in danger. Your
Yes,
life
our
could be,
life
your life
is-
could be in danger right now.
Our lives are always in danger. But it's
I
whether or
am
not
danger.
but it's whether or not knowing, like, let's say okay, this is actually a really bad place to
I am
break
the
into.
danger.
Shut up. Shut up, Walter White.
Say my name. Cut that out.
That's that's crazy.
That's
I'm
crazy.
sorry.
That might have to be. Yeah, anyways.
just bleep it out.
Beep. Anyways.
But so look, when you say that, like when you say, oh, then killing without, there's circumstances there, like killing without. What did you say? Killing
Without an apparent threat to your life.
apparent threat to my life. There is an apparent threat to my life, because someone broke into my house.
You don't know that.
Someone broke into my house. I don't.
What if you broke into someone else's house? No kidding. I'm kidding. Carry on.
You get my point
Mhm.
of if someone broke into your house, what are you gonna do? Like, let's say you're
I'm
the-
shooting them.
it-
I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm not actually agreeing with anything I'm saying.
Okay.
What was your second part of this question that you're asking?
Well, he kind of ruined it. I was gonna ask if his kids run the house. His wife
Well,
and kids. Here's the thing.
You're welcome.
Well,
But
I don't even think even if
if
it's
we're-
not your wife and kids.
if we're by
if people
if I'm
need
by
help.
myself in a like small home, let's say like apartment, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, by myself.
I'm still shooting him.
Yeah. I
Look, at the end of the day, I might not have a biblical way to defend this. If my wife is in the house, I'm shooting that person no matter
Yeah,
what.
I think even if it's
respectfully.
not, even if it's not, if you're-
because
some-
the man is supposed to
someone-
protect the woman.
Yes.
That person has chosen my possessions over their life,
Yes.
and for that they've forfeited it.
I was
So
gonna say, even if it's
That's
not
a
your
bar.
even if it's not like your kids or your even if it's like people you love, your parents, your siblings.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just saying this in the same context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was like tomorrow this happens, like what if I'm not getting married
Well,
tomorrow?
the thing
I
that
am.
sucks with my situation is if someone breaks in, I don't know.
I don't even know.
I don't know.
That's his Batman origin story. He walks in the house one day and everyone's dead. He becomes a vigilante.
Don't put that fear in my head, dude. Please.
so mean to say.
That's so bad. Or okay, this doesn't.
Or
help.
they kill you. They kill you, and your family finds you.
The Bat family.
We kill you right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your life could be in apparent danger at any time.
Help.
I'm in your walls. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, in my 2-inch thick walls, you know.
I'm under your bed.
Okay, you could actually be under my bed. Because
Anyways.
it lifts up and
What's your thoughts on that? You're just agreeing with what we're saying?
I agree. Wait.
I feel like most of this episode has just been me like being pissed at like just the questions.
I'm
you're
proposing
asking.
very difficult questions. It's okay to be frustrated. What's your thoughts? If you live alone, you're only yourself.
I'm gonna shoot him because I know even if I might not be in danger, the possibility of me being in danger.
I'm not
is
taking
gonna
a chance.
I'm not taking a
'Cause
chance of
there's
me
a chance
dying.
thing. Just like how there's a chance with you not taking action and saving someone else's life.
Wait.
Like
Say that one more time.
Like, let's say you have the opportunity
Mhm.
to like, and you have full.
What?
Try that water bottle.
I was thirsty.
You have the full ability to go and intervene with that situation, and you say that is a sin. Well, that's the same thing. Like, well, if someone broke in the house, you don't intervene, and they keep doing stuff, and let's say they get into your children's room, you're at fault.
Yeah. I'm not saying I disagree.
Yeah, I know. But I should really be looking over
I'm
here.
facing the brunt of his anger because my questions are very difficult, and I'm the person asking
Because
them.
if anything, it's a sin if you don't take action to go and protect your wife and kids, or even yourself. You know, don't break into people's homes. Is a moral of the story. I don't.
Please don't rob anyone.
And like Jack said, they chose my possessions over their life.
If you value
So-
someone else's possessions over your own life, then you're gonna face the consequences of that.
Yes, that's a bar. That's like a
I
huge bar.
didn't make it up. Someone else said it online somewhere, and
It's still a
agreed with it.
huge bar. I don't care. Just like same with wisdom. You don't make up your own wisdom. You gain wisdom from others.
Sure.
So,
Bars.
what are you looking at?
If a thief is caught breaking in at night and is struck a fatal blow, the defender is not guilty of bloodshed. But if it happens after sunrise, the defender is guilty of bloodshed.
What are your thoughts on this?
What verse is that?
If you're
You can pull
stupid
up-
enough to, for one, if you're stupid enough to break into someone else's house in broad daylight, and two, if you're stupid enough to not be able to defend your home in broad daylight, that's on you. Respectfully.
Ooh, does the situation change if it's in daylight?
According to this verse, it
What
does.
this is saying is that the defender is guilty if it's
Right.
after sunrise, and then the defender is not guilty, or if it's breaking in at night.
Mm.
Which is kind of
That-
interesting.
That's very interesting.
I'm trying to find my history really quick. I had
This is
thing
gonna
pulled
be
up
a
earlier.
big episode to edit.
Oh, I don't mind. It's gonna be awesome.
It is gonna
I'm
be
trying to see.
awesome.
I'm trying to put more verses. I want to see. I want to go because we've been kind of going. This is like as what we would do. I
Right.
want to just try and. I'm trying to.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try and find some biblical stuff and see. 'Cause-
try to find.
Which I need to do. I need to nail these questions sooner so I can actually do research on
Yeah.
this, so I can actually come at a biblical.
We didn't give
why-
you very much time to prepare.
I mean,
beforehand.
bro told me on my 10-minute break.
That's plenty of time to research an
Bro didn't
entire
have-
topic.
Bro didn't even have it on my 10-minute. He said he
That's
would
true.
last night.
I did say I
Fake
would,
friend.
but then I slept
Fake
in.
friend.
I slept in all morning.
Yeah, imagine not working like every day of the week.
I worked like every day this week except 2 days I went fishing.
True.
Because I have to work on the weekends. Okay.
And how many hours did you work this
I
week?
worked like 50.
Your mamas.
Let's see, Luke 22:36.
At least I'm making money, so
Just give me my
I'm
9.
happy.
Here's
Yeah.
okay. Here's the thing. There's also a verse in Genesis. Genesis 9:6 says, "Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man shall his blood be shed. For God made man in his own image." At the end of the day, if you are taking someone else's life, you are shedding the blood of someone else.
Yeah.
And by all accounts of many parts of Scripture, that requires the death penalty. The thing is, too,
But it
But-
is up to God to justify that action. Or not.
David was also a murderer.
Right.
Like actual murder, not self-defense. Like guilty, jealous murder. And God did not demand his life from him. He still used David for his glory. So,
Yep.
at the end of the day, if you kill someone, that's on their blood is on your hands. But sometimes, or not
Whether or
sometimes,
not that's
God is
justified.
always just,
Yes.
and what comes of that is according to His divine and sovereign will.
Yep.
And no matter what you do, it's still in God's plan. If you choose to defend yourself, and that
'Cause
person
whatever you
dies,
do,
or you
it's-
don't,
Whatever you do, like let's say, so you do something really bad, it's gonna teach you a lesson.
and it was still in God's will that you did that.
Yeah.
Not maybe in His will, but in His plan.
In His plan, because
He
God's
already-
will
he
and
already knew
God's
you were gonna do
plan, they point.
That's a question for a different episode.
Okay,
That's really deep. I'm not talking about
Sorry,
about
I was getting deep in this.
if
bro.
God's will and God's plan is the same thing, because God's will is always good.
okay, hold
Yeah.
on.
But his plan
Shh,
is
shh,
not
shh,
always
shh,
good.
shh, shh. We'll talk about it next episode.
I'm
We will
just
see you
clarifying.
next episode. Okay, I don't know. Do we want to end it like that?
Hold cut off right there. At the end of the day, just to lay it out on the table, if you kill someone, that person's blood is on your hands. The Lord's justice is perfect, and whatever happens of that is all according to His will. Even if it seems unjust, it is always just in the end because He is the absolute good. He's the final judge. And the truth is, in a way, we are all murderers. Jesus' blood is on all of our hands for our sin. And yet we do not pay the death penalty because He paid it for us. So remember that no matter what is and isn't a sin, and whether or not you commit it or not, He still forgave many sins you've already committed.
Yeah.
And don't forget that. So, on that very dark note, thank you all for listening to this late night episode. We're recording this much later at night than we usually
Yeah.
do, so we might be a
Although
little bit
it is kind of
wacky. 9:21.
We do have church in the morning.
We do have church in the
But
morning.
we also have.
Wait, Jack, you said you were going to second service?
Yeah, I'm sleeping in. To play Among Us tonight, obviously.
I'm actually so down.
Join our Discord. So you
Actually,
can
I
play Among
might
Us
go
with
to
us.
first. Oh, I might have to try. My sister. No, okay. My sister wants to go to first because she wants to go to
The book study.
tribes.
That sucks.
Oh yeah.
Savannah.
tribes. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching.
Yep.
If any of these
Yeah.
questions were difficult for you, I would say don't just passively listen. Write them
They're
down.
difficult for they. I mean, these questions were hard on me.
Ask-
I think there's a lot more questions to be asked about, or clarifying questions to be asked about this. But other than that, we hope you guys have a good night, good day.
Give us your thoughts
And-
on this episode in the comments.
Yes.
And like I was like meditate
what
on
your
these
thoughts
questions.
Yes.
Like this is not just
Bible
us
verses.
giving opinions. We want you guys to think on these questions for yourself too.
Yes.
Whether it's the funny ones where you
I'm
can.
probably gonna like go deep. I'm gonna probably go. I want to look through the Bible like through all this.
This is
stuff
this is
right
a
now. I
big
wanna
a
go get
big
deep into
topic,
this 'cause-
and we didn't have all of that prepared. We might come back to it in the future, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a new
We
returning
should come
episode.
back to it with a special guest.
I think we
I
might
was
we
almost
might have a
considering
guest
what
on soon, guys.
Yes, hopefully guest next episode.
Maybe next
I'm thinking-
episode.
I'm thinking
Within the
episode,
next
so.
2 episodes, we will have a guest.
If you know
Guaranteed.
us personally and you have any guest ideas,
Tell us.
let us
We
know.
have like a few in mind, but
we
we
have a
want to
few,
like, get more out there. So
but if you have someone else,
yeah.
for sure.
So
Dude, I wish.
there's so many guests we should do.
Yeah. But yeah, we hope you guys have a good night. God bless, and read your Bible, pray. He loves you. We love you. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye guys.
Bye.